Hello everybody, Reggie Tam here, and in just a moment we're going to be reviewing some hands I played from the 20 and L streets last night. Tables looked good. There weren't too many regs around, and there certainly weren't any of the higher stakes regs dropping down, so it made for a pretty fun session, pretty good session. And then we're going to look at some of the hands that I've marked to look at. They're all mostly big pots. In fact, they're all exclusively big pots. You're not going to watch any of the less interesting things. We're going to start with this table down here, this bottom left table. We have the two queens, and presuming nothing happens with the aces up here because I haven't marked the hand for review. So let's see what happens with these queens. We've had a recreational player open. We've 3-bet to 10 bigs because just put more money in the pot with good hands versus recreational players. We do get ourselves 3 callers, and we get a jack high flop, which, it's one of the, there could be some better hands out there for certain. Not 2 pairs, I wouldn't imagine, but definitely like sets are out there for all of these players. I would imagine maybe this guy isn't opening pocket threes, but um, these guys especially can have like the sets. But whatever, if they have, they have. We just go broke. There's too much money in the pot already. So now it's just a matter of how much are we going to bet. I'd like to see myself bet somewhere in the region of half pot. Um, we're not going to have many bluffs here when we do bet, and when we do, they're going to be like super high equity bluffs. So yeah, maybe in like multi-way pots, theory dictates we're supposed to downsize, bet a little bit smaller, etc. And yeah, against in tough games against better players, maybe we do. But I think in these maybe slightly softer games, we just don't need to go small. I wouldn't be surprised if I did. I don't remember this hand. I wouldn't be surprised if we did go on the smaller side, but I think we can just go up £4 here and just stack off. Let's see what I actually did. Yeah, I went with 1/3. I think that's pretty unnecessary. Player down here, snap called. 7 of diamonds turn. There is now, what's he got in his stack? 3/4 pot left. So surely now we just put the rest in, Reg, do we? Yeah, we do. Looks like we do anyway. And our opponent calls, and he's got a lot more equity than I would have liked. I'd prefer to see him draw into 5 or less outs with some sort of jack X. Ideally, a jack with a kicker under the value of a queen, but he doesn't. He has just about every out in the deck, which, things could go wrong from here. They didn't go wrong, thankfully, and we dragged down a very nice pot to kick off the session. That was literally 1 minute into the session. And I think we'd already, before I even started recording, we'd doubled up at this table. I think we had aces against somebody, can't remember who. But before I even started recording, we got the double up here. So within literally like a minute and a half of starting the session, I was up 1.5 stacks. It was a good start to the session. It was a very good start to the session. Moving on now, we're going to be looking at this ace four of hearts hand, and up on the top left table, table 1, we have a Dalton United fan, Dalton United FC 83. Maybe I know this guy, or maybe he's a Dundee United fan, but I like to think he's a Dalton United fan. Anyway, he's limped in. I'm presuming we're about to ISO with the ace four of red. We do, and he calls, and we hit. Well, we hit. So we've jumped ahead of a lot of his limp calling range. That has beat all this like small, medium pocket pairs, etc. Maybe we were ahead to begin with. Our friend now leads for 1/3 pot, which is interesting. I don't think there's anything to do here other than call. Maybe I raise, sir. Who knows? No, we do just call. We turn 2 pairs, which is nice. Billen now leads again for around, well, this time for half pot or so. I do remember this hand, and at this point I was quite pleased. I presumed when he goes lead, he either has draws that aren't folding, or he maybe has a better ace, or not a better ace, but an ace with a higher kicker than a 4 that might put a lot of money in now. So I think against recreational players, I'm not going to be doing any slow playing here. We're just going to want a fast playing, just try and shovel money in the pot. He's only got £11, £12 left. So what size would I like to see myself make this? I'd like maybe have about half his remaining stacks, so maybe make this like £5.50, something like that. Let's see what I actually did. Close enough. Our friend jams it in. We snap call. He did have the ace with the big kicker. He limped in. I mean, he probably loses however he plays his hand. If he raises, I wouldn't three bet, but I certainly wouldn't fold this hand against a green tagged player. So either way, the guy loses. But obviously, anyone watching this is relatively inexperienced. Don't be limping almost anything. Probably shouldn't limp full stop. In soft games, you can get away with it. Probably shouldn't limp full stop. But when you've got like a big premium hand, then just raise pre and play the hand more conventionally. As I said, either way, this guy's gonna, unless he hits a king, he's gonna lose his money in this pot, which however it plays out. But yeah, he could have played it differently. And we hold again. So go us. We are going well. Um, not necessarily guaranteed to stay that way, but we are going well from the outset. Here now we have probably the most interesting hand from the session. It's going to be against Bean81. I like Bean. Someone said in a previous video that it would do his head in because he chatters quite a lot. I like that, you know. I do like to chat at the tables. That's one of the beauties of Sky. They do have the chat box, and they do have some interesting chatters in there from time to time. Yeah, so I have no issue with it. He seems like a nice guy. He's funny. Seems like a solid player. I know he studies. We chatted with him. I know he's a player that does study. Um, so yeah, we're gonna look at this hand, and we're also going to do a bit of GTO wizarding after the hand because him and I were like we weren't getting deep into the chat at the table. I'm not that into chatting strat at the table, but I thought this was interesting, and I gave him a subtle needle based on what I thought about the hand, and then there was a small bit of back and forth, but we're actually going to pull up GTO wizard at the end of this hand to run it to see which one of us played it worse, basically, I think. Or did either of us play it bad? Did we both play it okay? Down here, we're just going to be going all in with these kings, and Bean's going to put me on ace king on fold and what have you. So look at this one if you want, but nothing much is going to happen. We're going to just rip because we've opened Bean's 3-bet. We've got a cold collar on the button. I'm not fucking around with kings. It's just going to go in. There's already 20 bigs in the middle, so you can do what you want with that one. But up here, we're about to 3-bet Bean. Being calls, we get a really good flop. And I think we can go like mostly just c betting here. I think I maybe made it. I'm about to check because I wanted to check raise against Bean, who I think will maybe aggressively. I'm pretty sure he knows. Well, not pretty sure. I know he knows that I'm a bit of a nit. I would want to like. I wouldn't c bet. I wouldn't range c bet here with stuff like queens, jacks, kings, etc. So once in a blue moon, when I've got like the topper's pair and the topper's kicker, I'm going to slip a check into, especially against a reg who might try to attack me. So this could be a mistake from me, but we'll look at the end. I decide to check. Bean checks back, and at this point, I'm thinking that maybe Bean's got a hand like two jacks, two eights, two nines, things like that. Probably not going to win too much money in this pot if he's got those hands. Maybe once in a while he's got some like ace queen suited that decided not to bet the flop, ace jack suited, ace queen offsuit, that type of thing. Who I now elect to bet. Being called, so we get an absolute brick river. And when he calls, I'm thinking now, right, okay, probably isn't calling with stuff like pocket eights, pocket nines, etc. Maybe he is, but I think it's super unlikely. I think he's just going to be on a dry board like this. He's just going to be in the ace x part of his range a lot of the time, like an ace queen off, ace queen suited, maybe even ace jack suited. Be a shame if he's got the ace 10 suited, but I think he probably just bets a hand better than ace king on the flop most of the time. So I was confident my hand was good. And I was just thinking, right, what am I trying to target here when I bet? Do I want to bet small and try and target stuff in his range that maybe isn't there? Or do I want to go on a larger side and like target more of his like maybe some of his like weaker ace X? Or do I want to be greedy and go all in and just like hope he's got ace queen? Because I very much doubt ace queen's going to be able to fold when we check, bet, and then bet 2x pot. And I decided to be greedy. I would decide to go for the lot. I mean, I'm not repping very much here when I go all in. You know, what bluffs can I possibly have on this board? I mean, I'm probably supposed to have some, but what they are, I wouldn't fucking know what they were. But maybe the wizard will tell us in a moment when we look at it. So I eventually decide, yeah, I'm all in. Bean goes in the tank and tells me that 10-10 is good. And when he taps in 10-10 is good, I was pretty confident I was going to win the hand. I think he just maybe just like catching me with his ace highs, etc. So I was relatively confident. And then he turned his hand over and we had our ass well and truly kicked in a bigger than usual pot for this game. It's like 100 whatever that is, 150 odd big blind pot. So it's when we bring the wizard up, it's only based on 100 big blinds. But yeah, anyway, we'll see what the wizard says about both of our plays. So pre-flop, being raised, didn't that's not the correct size, but it's close enough. We 3-bet again, not quite to the correct size, but close enough, and being called. And the flop came down. Ace of spades, 5 of diamonds, 10 of clubs. Ace of spades, 5 of diamonds, 10 of clubs. I am allowed to check ace king off at some small frequency here. And our range wants to check 51%. See over here, our range wants to check 51%. Ace king off doesn't know ace king, only wants to check about 30% of the time. So I found a low frequency check at this point. So where we are here, big blind take action. I check. Bean with ace 4 suited. Hang on, let's go back to the pre-flop because I don't think Bean is meant to call that much. Oh, where am I at here now? Oh, Reg, stop being a prick. Yeah, that's why. Ace 4 suited according to this sim I'm running. Bean suggested he thought it was like 50% call. On the sim I'm running, ace 4 suited folds 65% of the time. Calls a sliver amount, calls 20%, 3 bets, 12%, and 4 bet shoves. Just 4% of the time. So anyway, we checked. Being checked back on this flop with ace 4 suited. He's supposed to do a little bit of betting, but mostly checking. So I'm giving us both a pass on this street. We both do things that are a thing at times. Turn 4 of hearts. I'm supposed to bet nearly all of the time. And I'm supposed to, the highest frequency sizing is 33%. And now I went bigger than that. So yeah, on the turn, I went like probably closer to like anything than 3/4 pot. Maybe it was around 2/3, but we're going to have to use this one. So or somewhere between these two. So I found a 15% bet size on the turn. And we're going to have to say, we bet 75% here. Even though it wasn't quite that big, I don't think. Bean with ace 4 suited, just meant to call, so well played, you, sir. And then the river was, I think, was it an offsuit 6? Yeah, 6 of spades. Are we allowed to go all in with ace king off? Yeah, we are allowed to go 38% of the time. So actually, all in is the most favoured sizing. So that's something for me at least. At least I didn't completely butcher as played. All in close to 40% of the time. The would be the 2-tick option, which is what we did. And Bean obviously has the easiest call in the world with his ace 4. So yeah, I don't think either of us really butchered it, to be fair. We all did things that were a thing during the hand. We all stayed in the hand until the end without considering to making an enormous blunder. As for who played the hand best, I'll leave that for you guys to decide. I think we both played the hand fine. We both could have done different things at different times, but yeah, it was fun to review that one because we did have a little chat at the table. And my suggestion was like, I think in the chat I put something like that was your old low pre-flop, something like that, like just needle him, because I thought at the time his hand was just like not a pure full pre-flop, but close to pure, and that turns out that I wasn't quite right because he's meant to continue like 30% of the time. Flop I'm supposed to bet, didn't. Turn I'm supposed to bet smaller, and I didn't. And then river jamming's fine as played. So yeah, I enjoyed reviewing that one, and I think we both get away with that. We were just two shit regs doing shit reg things, wasn't it? And Bean came out the winner on this occasion, and nice answer. Move on to this table now. We've got pocket jacks, and we've raised under the gun. We get a 3-bet on the button, and we get a cold call from the big blind. So the first question here with jacks is, do we just pile it in? How much has the big blind got left in his stack? Both players less than 100 big blinds at the start of the hand. 75 big blinds left in this guy's stack. Less than that in this one, 60 odd, I guess. Yeah. Do we just rip it in here? Do we call and see a flop? This player hadn't been super active. This player had been like passive pre-flop, but seemed to really love check raising. So I was like, yeah, get me to a flop. If I like it, then I'm just going to fast play. This player didn't have any real reads on, other than he wasn't playing a full stack, and he has a name that maybe means something to him, or is maybe just pretty fucking out of line. Who knows? We'll leave that one there, I think. Let's go ahead and see what I did. I think like calling or just jamming here is both going to be fine. We get a pretty good flop. We check. Button. Bets. And I think we just have an easy rip now, I think. He's only got 50 bigs left. It looks like he's going with his hand, and there's a good chance we could be beat here. You know, there's 3 hands out there that's better than ours. Do I think he's got a set? Probably not. Not the way I'd observed him playing so far. Do I think he's got 2 pair? Probably not. So basically, he either has queens plus and we lose, or he maybe has a hand like pocket tens. Maybe he's just punting it off. Who knows? But I think we just have a super easy all in now. Villain calls, and I didn't think he'd have that one. That's one of the hands that I didn't have in his range. I have no idea what went through his mind, but we're in a pretty good spot. And it was borderline out super clean, and happy days. We dragged another pot down. Games were good. Games were good. I was getting good hands. We were running well, and I was playing reasonably well. Here you can see our ongoing chat with Bean. Anyway, on to the next hand. So we're going to be looking at this hand here against NWO. We have the King Jack of Red. We raise the 3x. We get a flush draw flop. We check. Villain bets full pot. Again, I didn't know an awful lot about him. We can check raise here, or we can just tear one up and see a turn. I think maybe versus this stack, maybe just fucking riffling it in and not giving a fuck might be a good play. If he's got a 7, then good for him. Anything else, we've got pretty damn good equity against him. We're not drawing dead against a 7. Right, okay, so we looked at my note, and the note said fit or fold, which makes me think that probably don't want to raise against this guy, because if he's fit or fold, then he's probably not going to be like, you know, if I ever read that says fit or fold, I typically assume that player to be like relatively passive and then just aggressive with strong hands. So I guess that's why I decided to go with call. We do immediately hit our flush on the turn. We check again. Villain bets. We put him in for the rest because he hasn't got much left. He calls with the 8-4 suited, and he's not drawing dead, which is unfortunate, but he's drawing pretty slim. And he does make his straight, does he? No, he doesn't. Does he? Does he? Does he? Yes, he does. He does make his straight, but it's no good because in Nollywood Hold'em, straights do not beat flushes. So yeah, things were going really, really well. Moving on now, we have two nines. We have Breticus, who is a reg, um, opening to 3.5 times under the gun. We have a very VIP player, the big blind, and we flop ourselves a set, which is delightful. Checks through. We check, sorry. VIP is about to bet, I believe, and he comes with, I think that's over bet. No, it's not. It's full pot. Sorry. Reticus folds, and we've been talking at this at the table, Bean and I, about like the joy of min raising. Min raising good hands versus VIP players, particularly. And I wouldn't normally min raise here, but I think I'm about to, just because we've been talking about it and been to the table. So I think I'm about to min raise. This is not a good play. In position, probably okay. Check min raise out of position. Fuck off, Reg. Don't do that. But I think I'm about to do it anyway, just for the shits and giggles, because Bean's at the table. And also, he's not fully stacked, so we're going to be able to get all the money anyway. And then we get punished by probably putting one of the worst turns out. Of course, this guy doesn't have to have Jack 10 exclusively. At this point, I'm like, right, I'm all in now, mate. And had I made a slightly larger raise in the flop, this would be a much easier one to make. Because now we're all in for pot. Whereas if we'd raised bigger, we could have been all in for 2/3 pot. So fuck off, Reg. But anyway, we go all in. And we do get called, and we're up against the King 7, so nothing else to see here. We just drag down another pot. Moving on now, we're going to be looking at this top right table in just a moment, I believe. Yeah, we have the Ace Queen offsuit. Recreational player limps. Stu is about to fold because that's what Stu does best. Stu does a lot of folding. Bean folds. We're about to make it 5x, I believe. Yep, we do. And we flop ourselves top pair, top kicker. Life was good last night. Let's just a bomb here. Out of position, recreational player. You know, theory dictates we should do a bit of checking here, should do some smaller betting. Fuck all that. Top pair, top kicker against a recreational player out of position. Just start piling money in. And see what happens. He goes all in. We have the easiest call ever. He's got the Queen 6. And yeah, life was good. Moving on again, we have the two kings down on table 3. We are making it 3 times the big blind to go. Get a call from the big blind. We get a Jack high mono flop, which normally isn't good for 2 kings, but when we got 2 kings with the red one, I'm fine. Bet small. I don't know why the fuck I bet that small. I guess in my head it's like, oh well, he has more flushes than me, blah blah blah. You know, he's in the big blind. Just fuck all that shit, Reg. You're up against a recreational player. You've got an overpay with a flush draw. Just fucking put money in, you fanny. And we river the second nuts. Okay, so we can now get check raised on the river. Now this is the second time this guy's check raised me on the river. Remember this guy? He check raised me earlier on a board. I think it had just been pretty much check. Then I bet the river and he check raised. Or maybe there was one street of betting. It was a relatively small pot, but it is the second time he's check raised me on the river. I genuinely don't remember what I did here. I think I'm supposed to go all in. Let's see if I did. Reg, you fucking fanny. I guess my thoughts were he's only calling if he's got the Ace of Hearts, but that's bullshit. If he's got the Queen of Hearts, of course he's calling. Fuck off, Reg. yeah, just fuck off, Reg. I mean, there's 10 quid there we could have had. Just fuck off, Reg. I mean, as it happens, the guy wasn't caught. I mean, what he's doing, who only knows. But yeah, just fuck off, Reg. Just go all in there. And if he has the ace of hearts, then fucking hallelujah. Good for what a fanny I am. Never mind. Moving on now after that disappointment, we're going to be playing the Ace Jack of Red on the top left table, table 1. We face a 3-bet. We just call for a recreational player. Flop ourselves a top pair. He bets, and he bets pretty big. Nothing to do yet, just other than call. Turn ourselves 2 pairs. And the guy absolutely bombs. So he just has a strong hand. Or, a very high equity bluff. Very, very unlikely this is him just punting with who knows what. The guy's clearly committed. We've got 2 pair in a 3-bet pot. We're all in. Nothing else to be said. And he had the ace king. And then, yeah, I think his sizing's off post flop, but whatever. We drag another pot. It was that kind of night. It really was that kind of night where everything was coming up Reggie, and I was delighted about it. This is going to be the last hand of the video. We have the ace and the queen offsuit. We have a recreational player limping. We make it a pound. We get min 3-bet by the button. This guy comes along too. I'm just not going to do anything other than call here with ace queen up against 2 recreational players. We do call. We flop a good shot, but that's all. I mean, of course we turn the nuts. Why wouldn't we? It's been that kind of night. I decided to just absolutely blast. 3-bet pot, 2 callers, 2 pairs are out there. A very good chance that, as played, there could be a set of jacks out there somewhere. But yeah, just going to go massive because it's a 3-bet pot multi-way. We've got the nuts against 2 recreational players. So not much else to be said there. He goes all in. I'm like, okay, chop it up. Or he's got like 2 pair plus and just fade. We obviously snap call. And he decided to wait until we had the nuts before bluffing, presumably, with pocket 3s. So yeah, that was a nice way to end the session. We've been playing at this point for about 3 hours, maybe slightly longer. The tables were just starting to die a little bit. I was basically my rule. I had this £5.50 tournament on the go, and that basically I've been playing a while. The tables are going bad. I was just going to keep playing until we busted the tournament. So yeah, that was nice, and we did end up busting the tournament. We'll just show you the exit, and this was it here. Oh, hang on, go back, Reg, go back. Oh, this isn't what we should be doing. Anyway, we'll just play it through because there's basically this hand and one more. So we're on the short stack. We're 10 to 11. We are in the money now, though. 12 paid. We limped over the line. And that any tournament, like we've got 19 bigs, no antes. I just ripped here, and I'm not sure if it was a mistake. I mean, this guy has ace king. He's going to call and cooler us, and if we just min race, he would have re-raised. We would have got it in. But are we of this stack depth, 19 bigs, no antes, pretty soft game. Are we meant to? Is this okay to just rip with 7s? Do we just min race, call it off? Do we min race, fold? Yeah. Anyways, I just ripped it because I'm a fucking shit at tournaments. He goes all in. Here's ace king. And then he just wins. And yeah, I can't complain. We had such a good night at the tables. I played the 9 at 9 and lost £9.90. I played this thing and won about £1.50. And at the end of the session, I was up just short of £150, which basically means I won 7.5 buy-ins in 3 hours at 20NL, which in terms of like buy-ins and big buys for 100, probably my best session in quite a while. So yeah, it was a thoroughly pleasant evening. And I hope there's been a thoroughly pleasant video for you guys who like me, and for you guys who don't like me, it's probably been a really shit wank. Because outside of getting stacked by Bean in the Ace King versus Ace 4 fiasco, we just won every fucking pot. So go us. Anyway, we are out of here now. I'm glad to think might see my message getting across, by the way. I thought you were remotely interested in politics. I end all my videos these days with fuck the Tories, and by Christ, on Thursday, did we as a nation say fuck the Tories? Um, it was quite fantastic. I stayed up a lot of the night watching the results come in until the BBC just started repeating themselves time and time again, saying how Labour aren't doing very well when the Tories are getting smashed up. What they did seem to want to focus on, well, Labour aren't doing as well as perhaps they could have done, because Laura Kuenssberg's just a massive fucking cunt. But yeah, nevertheless, keep fucking the Tories. 15 months from now, we might not be living in a country governed by the fucking assholes. And so, yeah, keep on fucking the Tories. Apart from that, take care, everybody. Have a good week, have a good day, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye bye for now.